Hello there. The Met Police is now clearing the roads of eco-loons, but not for us, but because of the coronation. After years of doing next to and even seeming to assist the eco-loons, the Met has suddenly decided to clear the highways of them. And why? Because they don't want the pomp and ceremony of the coronation spoiled in 9 days' time. They have their orders, no doubt. It will not be, as the Telegraph says, because one MP, Lee Anderson, criticised the Met. Since when was that a thing? Now it will come as welcome news that the Met are at last flexing their legal muscle and removing the eco-loons from our roads. But I fear it has nothing to do with the concerns of the ordinary road user. It is all about keeping the great and good protected from hassle. And as far as I can see, it will be temporary. Call me a cynic, but what if the eco-loons bring a court case and they win after the event, and they could get compensation that we will have to pay for? And more on why I think this. In the 2012 royal wedding between Prince William and Kate Middleton, dozens of activists that the establishment feared would disrupt proceedings were rounded up and detained for the duration, and the protesters actually lost a subsequent court case against the police on this. The establishment has form on selective policing in favour of the great and good. And don't forget Rishi Sunak and his North Korean-style police escort of officers running on foot and pedalling furiously on bicycles ahead of his motorcade as he made his grandiose way back to 10 Downing Street recently. This is our future, direct from the past, viewers. Selective policing for the benefit of our betters. If we allow this, we've learned nothing. We suffer, they use the powers of state to ignore the problem. So, are the Met Police right now preparing the ground for clearing the streets, Chinese style, just before the upcoming coronation, and then reverting to facilitating the protesters once all that pomp and circumstance is over? Either they keep the roads clear for all of us, or they allow the royal celebrations to be obstructed. But we all know what will actually happen.
So here we are in Brecon Town Centre, and Jeff nearly fell into a bin.
No, I was nearly pushed into a bin, I can assure you. He's trying to elbow me off the show into a bin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right, okay. Not having any of that, I can tell you.
So yesterday, it was just something that occurred to me when we were talking about who do we trust and political party leaders. I completely forgot that I bumped into somebody you know.
Yes.
And he's a lovely chap, and I bumped into him in a supermarket near where my better half lives, and it's Neil Hamilton, leader of UKIP, and I had a very quick little chat with him, and a very nice chap indeed.
Oh yeah, he is a good guy, and it's, as you said, I think it's someone we need to be talking to on the show. So quite prepared to get on and do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, over the years I've listened to a lot of what Neil Hamilton has had to say. I've got to say, I found him incredibly astute.
Oh yeah, he knows his stuff. He definitely knows his stuff. If you get him going and you ask him the right question, he waxes lyrical, and he knows all the history and the ins and outs of what led us right actually up to Brexit and beyond, and what's actually gone wrong ever since. He's got a good handle on that, so I think a chat with him would be good.
Yeah, great idea.
So, do you think that Andrew Bridgen should start his own political party?
Well, that's a very good question. Or should he perhaps become leader of Reclaim? Now that's another point.
Well, that's another option, as long as Lawrence Fox says, OK, I'll stand aside, and then let Andrew Bridgen take over, because he does have actually got a history in politics already, actually as an MP. So that could be an option. Or he could, as I've said, maybe start his own political party. But to do that, he'd need not only the financial backing, but he would also need members of a political party. And if someone wants him to start a political party, the first thing they should be doing is getting hold of him and saying, start your own political party and I'll join you. And that's really the way it would get started, if that's an option that Andrew Bridgen is thinking about.
Yes, I agree. I mean, to be honest with you, I personally know that if Bridgen started his own party, would I vote for it? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that man really has shown courage in the face of extreme adversity. Both him and his wife, incidentally, who is going to be writing her own memoirs and a tell-all of what it's been like to be the wife of an MP. And I think, you know, the pair of them have actually been to a lot.
Yeah,
They've had a lot of...
The thing here is that was her book the thing that triggered the exit of Andrew Bridgen? Maybe she's got a lot of information in that she's willing to spill about what's been going on in the Tory party, because having seen what's been written on social media and the stuff that's been attributed to her, it doesn't look like she's very pleased with them, to say the least.
Oh, no, absolutely, and rightly so. I mean, as I said, they've been through a lot, from what I can gather, and spill the beans, absolutely.
Yeah, the more the better.
Yeah.
And if there's stuff going on in the party or other parties that the voters need to know about, it needs to be spilt. We need to know.
Yeah, totally. So, would you vote for Andrew Bridgen if he started his own political party? I don't really need to ask that question. I think I know the answer. Although a lot of people still have a lot of the viewers have loyalties with Reform, and I totally get that, because currently they are the most electable, we should say, of the alternative political parties.
Yeah, it's
alternative
not so
right.
much electable. They've got the face at the moment, but how far that will go, I don't know. And if there is a large shift with a big name, Andrew Bridgen is a big-ish name, and could take some support with him. But we'll see how that pans out, I think.
Yes. Okay, and now we're by Boadicea, or Boudica, however you want to pronounce it. It's Boadicea, by the way.
It is Boadicea.
Yeah,
That's what I was taught at school, so it must be right.
So you have Boadicea and her daughters behind us. Anyway, so I got asked a question last night by a friend of mine. He sent me a message, John. Hi, John. And the question was very simple. The emergency alert.
Oh, yeah.
Now, apparently there's a little bit of a rumour going around that persons serving in the military know that this alert was because they're anticipating something. What do you think? Is it a rumour? Do you think that's just nonsense?
Oh, no, they're just getting ready just in case, of course. There's nothing to worry about, Richard.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, logically speaking, why now? How many years has it been since we last had sirens ringing across this country? You know, we're talking the 1940s. Yeah?
1940s, and tests in the 1950s because of the 4-minute warning and all that sort of stuff, I should think. Then all the sirens fell into disuse as we entered the phase of the worldwide peace and no more threat from Russia. And here we are back again. But why now with the latest technology? You could argue that it's just taking advantage of the latest technology, but it does seem to have come very fast on the heels of the pandemic. So, and there's always talk of, the next pandemic, which makes you worry about, they're meant to be about every 100 years, aren't they, or something?
Yes. But it certainly makes you think that something is coming. What it is, I don't know. I mean, alien invasion.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was hoaxed, but there we go. I mean, I wouldn't put... Okay, this might start to sound a bit conspiratorial, but I just wouldn't put anything past the powers that be these days. I mean, we could be invaded by giant squids, you know.
I thought we had been. We had been.
Oh, yes, they're in Parliament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Richard Vobes has served his YouTube sentence and is back, and he's putting up videos again. Good to see Richard. Well done.
Yeah, welcome back, Richard. And I saw the interview you did with Neil Oliver, and there's what's it called, the conference coming up in Bath?
Oh yes, I can't remember the name of the conference, but
Better Way.
Better Way, yeah.
A Better Way,
right,
Better Way conference. Sounds fantastic. Neil Oliver as well, he's going to be there. I think that's on June the 1st. So
yeah, isn't it a 4-day conference?
I think so. And should we go along? See if we can go along? Maybe.
Maybe we'll go along and have a quick look-see and see what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe meet a few people. That'd be a good idea,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too far to travel, so Bath from...
Yeah.
Okay. There you
We'll
go.
have a look at that. There's a plan.
Yes.
Ish.
We're not speaking there. We'll just be there to annoy everyone. By the way, we're by a promenade, right? I remember when we were driving along here to the promenade, Jeff said, I didn't think you had those in Wales.
No, promenades is an English thing.
Yes. We invented the promenade in Wales, I'll have you know.
Yeah. So, Richard, we're in the pub last night. We've travelled a lot around Wales and we've done some extra filming. And also, we've now ended up in Hay-on-Wye. Now, all the time we've been in Wales, all I've heard is English accents. I've heard very few actual Welsh accents and none of the Welsh language. What is going on?
Well, as I said in a previous video, I went to North Wales recently. And it was incredible. All I heard was the Welsh language spoken. But in South Powys area and in much of many parts of the more desirable parts of Wales, you won't hear Welsh accents because the Welsh can't afford to live here. It's people with a lot of money who bought up second homes in the area, more second homes than you can shake a copy of Country Life at, to be honest with you, especially here in Hay-on-Wye. But it's a lovely place. I mean, hey, these are beautiful places. I get it. You know, people think it's okay to buy a second home and that, well, it does have implications on the local economy.
Yeah.
Massive ones.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise that if you don't live here and you only come here occasionally, maybe you don't pay the full amount of council tax, or maybe you don't buy anything locally, so you don't get taxes or money collected locally. So that means that there's no infrastructure, especially as, if these are all second homes, you don't actually have families living here that need doctors and don't need nurses, they don't need hospitals, they don't need all this infrastructure. So why should it be supplied if the statistics are saying you don't need them? And that's what seems to be happening.
Yes, I mean, the infrastructure has been decimated in Mid Wales. And, I mean, it's awful. There isn't an accident and emergency unit, I believe, in Mid Wales.
Yeah. Well, that's wrong in its own self. And how about schools?
Oh, they're shutting, yeah.
And if you've only got a few school children, how much further have they got to travel? And is this right? I mean, it's right for rich people to come into the area and bring supposedly bring their money, but are they actually bringing their money, or are they bringing a dependency with them? And that's a question that has to be answered.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, the local economy has transferred mind towards sort of catering for very few rich people who come here, because it's like, here we are in Hay. Brilliant place, I love it here. But can I afford to buy a lot of the produce here on a regular basis? No, and most of the locals, say in Brecon area, can't, which is a shame. Because saying that, as a treat, there are things I'll buy from the market here in Hay. There's fantastic bakers I've just been to see in the Hay market. And, if you want a treat, you've got to go there. You've got to try it, people. It's wonderful.
And I've seen some good bottled beer, which I'm going to purchase on the way back.
Yeah. So we can't exactly say Hay-on-Wye and these places they're not bad places to go and visit. No. But at the end of the day, it is what it is in terms of demographic. The Welsh can't afford to live here, and that's it. And
people in England that are coming here would probably say, well, it's no different from what's happening in England.
Absolutely.
Things are changing, demographics are changing, age ranges are changing, so it's the same with Wales. And a lot of people would also say that some people coming into the country, especially across the English Channel, aren't actually bringing anything with them, but we're taking lots into Wales. But when we're talking about culture, there's a big difference between taking money somewhere and taking your culture somewhere. And if you think your culture is better than where you're going, then I think that you need to question yourself and your motives.
Oh, totally. I'll give you a quick example of this. In my old village where I grew up, near Merthyr Tydfil. There is a part of the village called, just north of the village, called Abercribben. Now, people will say newcomers into the area won't know where Abercribben is, won't even want to know, because they are disassociated from the community a lot of the time. Especially if you've got a second home. I mean, you don't tend to get too much involved in a local community if you're only visiting there like 3 or 4 times a year. There are holiday cottages in this area that are cleaned for people who will only visit about, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And those, I've cleaned them. I've done that job in the past. And yeah, a lot of the local economy is based around the servicing of second homes. And you might think, well, that gives people work. Yes, it does. And the people here are grateful of the work. But the fact of the matter is, it's a necessity now, because other businesses that would have boomed in the area, within the community, are not there anymore, because the footfall isn't there for local people.
For pubs, for chemists and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, one big question that I've got is, if you are a cleaner for holiday homes, how far away do you live from those holiday homes, and how much do you have to travel to get there?
Oh, yes. Well, I can tell you that there's a lot of travelling that has to be done, and there's some very hard-working, good people doing that job in the Brecon Beacons area, or should I say Banau Brycheiniog now.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
But,
since the name change.
Yeah. There's a lot of people doing that. But, I mean, this isn't an anti-English rant on my part. As I said, I'm born an Englishman, I was, and die a Welshman, I will. So, yeah. But, it is an issue. Second homes, they do destroy communities. And holiday cottages are, well, I mean, hotels have closed. The Glyph Ice.
That's a very good point, yes.
Yeah, hotels have suffered because of the sort of rise in Airbnbs. So
I would say, if you're an English person or someone else looking to buy a nice second home somewhere, just think about the repercussions on the locals when you do so. And if you're not thinking about that, then what can I say?
Yeah. Nice one, Jeff. Okay, we've done our bit for the community. All right. Take care, you lot, and we're going to make a move now, and we'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully, at 5:45. 5:45?
5:45.
All righty.